Funding for the ViewFinder series is provided by Allied Insurance. Life comes at you fast. Allied provides insurance for auto, home, business, and farm. Allied Insurance, a nationwide company, on your side. ViewFinder is also supported by the expanded Jackson Rancheria Casino and Hotel. An hour's drive from Sacramento, Jackson Rancheria offers gaming, entertainment, fine dining, rooms and suites, and a conference center. Jackson Rancheria Casino and Hotel, where friendship is the largest jackpot.
Presentation of this ViewFinder episode is locally supported by UC Davis Health System. In the fast pace of everyday life, lurking somewhere in a forgotten shadow, an old killer looms.
It's not an epidemic that's limited to any one community.
Eyes dart across the landscape, searching the horizon for answers. The secret is hidden in denial.
It's everybody's problem.
Today, a quarter of a century since the onset of the pandemic, AIDS is as ominous as ever.
I know that if I get it, it's something I should have to accept because I'm taking all that risk.
And now, what you and your family need to know about AIDS here at home. Peace echoes across the mountaintops as the sun awakens another day in a quiet moment of paradise. For years, Camp Sunburst has provided a week-long haven, a respite during summers for kids infected and affected by HIV and AIDS. As those children grow up, the country is witnessing a new face of AIDS, a population of teenagers who, thanks to medications, are living longer and healthier lives.
I'm just thankful to be living.
Robert Shea Jr. is 13 and was born with the virus.
I know some kids that are always just saying that I'm gonna die too early. Like there's this one kid who thinks he's real tough, but he's actually just a wannabe bully. I don't say anything, I just walk away. I'd rather not start anything. I think that sometimes it could be messed up because people think oh, this kid's gonna get near us and he's gonna give us AIDS.
Robert's dad, Robert Sr., also has HIV and volunteers as a counselor at the camp. Both contracted the virus from Robert Jr.'s mother. She no longer lives with them, and life is far from easy for this family of two. That makes a week in the woods together more magical than ever.
Magical was what I'd say. I mean, everybody's heart's here in the center, and it's just one big family. And we all love each other and support each other.
They've been through the same thing we're going through, affected or infected. And it's just nice to be in the same environment where there's people in the same predicament as we are.
Camp Sunburst was created by Dr. Jerry Brooks in the late 1980s. A psychologist, she wanted to give young people living with the virus or affected by it a safe place where they can have fun, socialize, and get the facts.
And now that we have our first generation of children in the United States that were born with the virus that are now living to be 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 and into young adult years, there's a lot of support that's needed to get them to their young adult life.
Okay, so Bianca, you got 3 things to take, right? We are in Club Med. It's a little infirmary that's part of this camp, and we have our little 2-room setup here. And sometimes, a lot of the medication stuff goes on here, but it's also kind of a big social scene a lot of the time because we have the candy and the Gatorades.
At least twice a day, sometimes guided by flashlights, campers make the trek to Club Med.
Good percentage, I could say maybe 60 or 70% of the kids are infected and are on, as many as, what did that last child say, maybe 21 pills a day.
The hardest part, I would say taking my medicine, because that's something you do every day.
A lifetime of medications. Some teenagers eventually get tired and, against doctor's orders, will simply quit taking them. Most will die.
They stop taking their medications, and unfortunately what happens after a period of time is either they can't go back on the protocols they were on, or they begin to get opportunistic illnesses, and they then die very shortly thereafter. Now we have 3 quilts. reminds me of the devastation of the virus.
And that devastation continues. Of all new infections today, half are in young people between the ages of 18 and 25. At camp, teenagers learn that AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. The virus is spread through high-risk behaviors, including unprotected sex. That means not using a condom and sharing needles. Getting tested and knowing your status is imperative.
If you can find out that you have HIV early these days, there's no reason for an early death.
HIV is transmitted from an infected person to another through blood, semen, vaginal fluids, and breast milk.
The bottom line with HIV is that it's 100% preventable.
Prevention. That's the goal for teenagers at Camp Sunburst. They don't want to spread the virus if they have it, or contract it if they don't. Lori Blackford is at camp because both of her parents are infected with HIV/AIDS. A ropes course and day-long wilderness experience builds confidence and self-esteem for these young campers.
We just all share the same feelings and problems.
We've certainly looked at the issue, how to create programs for prevention and education around HIV. And there's been a tremendous enhancement around education and prevention, but it's still happening.
And young people are still dying. Dr. Brooks will never forget 12-year-old Joey Benko.
When I first met Joey, he was 5 years old. He was a great little spirit. He had a dream, and his dream was to pet a Bengal tiger. And so I called up Marine World. They allowed me to bring him there and to hold him, and he was able to have his wish, his final wish, come true.
Boy. Look at him. Look at him petting the tiger.
When he died the day after that. So, and he was aware when he was put his hand on the tiger and he was petting the tiger that he had his wish fulfilled before he died.
It was such an honor to be with him through his life and through his death.
Jocelyn Graves also reflects the changing face of AIDS. Diagnosed in 1994, she believes she was probably infected in 1987. A person can have HIV for years before having any symptoms.
The last couple of years I have been in and out of the hospital. I've built up a resistance to a lot of the medications, and now I'm on new medications. But I have kidney problems, I have liver problems, I have thyroids, I have heart problems and everything. And I recently just got out of the hospital from having a heart attack where the paramedics, I actually died and the paramedics revived me.
There's some tremendously chilling statistics with regard to what's happening in the African American community. Right now, although African Americans only make up 12% of our population, 50% of the new HIV/AIDS cases are happening in that community. The number one killer of African American women between the age of 25 and 34 is HIV/AIDS.
I have been through so much lately. And I'm actually tired, but I don't want to give up because I know it's more that needs to be done for HIV and AIDS. And I still want to help in that fight.
Jocelyn contracted the virus through heterosexual sex with her partner. She didn't know he was an injection drug user. She found out while caring for him before he died from complications related to AIDS.
In our lifetime now, you know, everybody's going to know somebody or have a family member that's infected with the virus.
A growing AIDS epidemic. That's why the CARES Clinic in Midtown Sacramento was created some 15 years ago. To date, according to the State Office of AIDS, close to 140,000 people here in California have been infected. More than 80,000 have died.
People don't see people dying of AIDS anymore.
And as a result of that, they feel it's a chronic disease such as diabetes or hypertension, and they don't take it as seriously as they used to. We have several clients here at CARES that are like that now, that have been infected for many, many years, and the medications just aren't working for them anymore.
Lois McLean is one of 1,800 clients who rely on CARES for medical treatment and other help. The clinic provides social, psychiatric, and dental services. An on-site pharmacy makes it easy for people to get their medications. It essentially offers a person with HIV, well, just about everything they need, and in one place.
Without it, I don't know what I'd do. I really don't know. Everything is here. I can talk to anyone about anything. It's so much help that's here at CARES.
Lois is new to CARES. She was diagnosed with HIV about a year ago.
My whole life was shattered. Nothing is the same anymore. Nothing.
Lois says she was infected through heterosexual sex with her partner of 3 years.
I believe he was a man on the down low.
Men on the Down Low, or DL, the Centers for Disease Control says the term is often used to describe the behavior of men who have sex with other men, as well as women, and who do not identify as gay or bisexual. The term has most often been associated with African American men, although it's not specific to black men who have sex with men.
Men on the down low, brothers on the down low. Yeah. And it is a really big issue, much of which takes place in the prisons. And then some men, when they come out of prison, will stop that risky behavior. Others continue with it and just don't tell the women that they're having sex with each other.
39-year-old Irene Ross is a mom and grandmother. 14 years ago, she was diagnosed with HIV.
I was devastated. What do you mean I'm HIV positive? What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm not a drug addict. I don't have sex with any and everyone. How? Why me?
Irene says she was shocked at what she learned next.
I came across a letter that was written to him by a man. And the letter kind of startled me because of the language that was in it. It was saying some very personal things that I think I should have been saying to him, but it was actually being said to him by another man.
She believes her husband was promiscuous with both men and women, and that's how she contracted the virus.
It was with the man that I was married to a short time. We had been together for 10 years, and I loved him so much, and it was just me and him. I was faithful. He wasn't.
Irene lives with her year-old grandchild and 18-year-old daughter, Tatiana.
I worry all the time, and it's kind of on my shoulders because I'm not the oldest, but I'm the oldest that's here, and I kind of overview and take care of the house. So it's a lot. It's not a burden, but it's just a lot on my shoulders. But I take it a day at a time, and I just deal with it.
I love her so much for what she does. She's my strength. She holds it down for me when I can't sometimes. And a lot of times I feel like it's too much for her because she's so young. She's just now turned 18. But she's a strong young woman.
Tatiana is an attentive daughter and mother. She says she's not afraid of HIV/AIDS. She knows it's not transmitted by holding hands, hugging, sneezing, or coughing. She says she's learned a lot about HIV/AIDS from her mom. Though Tatiana has been aware of the toll HIV has taken on her mother, in the heat of passion, a couple of years ago, all the HIV/AIDS education and knowledge went right out the window.
With teenagers, you all in the moment and everything, and then everything goes, and it's like, but I thought about it when it was all over. You never think about it during the process, but once it's over and you're like,
Tatiana did become pregnant but did not contract HIV/AIDS. She has no regrets about her baby. But next time...
in the future, I will use protection.
Dr. Neil Flynn has been on the forefront of the HIV/AIDS epidemic at the UC Davis Medical Center since 1983. He also works at the CARES Medical Clinic.
Since the last 2 to 3 years that we have good treatment, a lot of that caution is gone, and we're seeing young men come in newly infected with full knowledge that the virus is transmitted in this way. It's kind of depressing for those of us who work in the field and remember the days when people would prevent themselves from getting HIV.
Michael Gentes is a member of the gay community and has been living with HIV for 20 years.
I've had to learn to live a whole new life with HIV and AIDS. It's not like having a cold or a flu that goes away. You live with it every single day. And you have side effects from meds. You have to learn to live with that too, you know. You don't take your life for granted. I've lost about 60 of my friends, and believe me, AIDS is not something you want to see somebody die of, especially young. I think my youngest friend was 27, and he went really fast. In 6 months, he was diagnosed, in 6 months he was dead. All my best friends are gone. And I was lucky to be here when some of the new protease inhibitors came around.
2 decades ago, people with AIDS often looked sick, became ill, and died. A majority of young people today have never seen a person die from AIDS. Medications are saving lives, but there's fear they also may be giving some people a false sense of security.
No, it's still not something that you want to get. We'll have, in a very short time, we'll have 1 pill once a day. It's got 3 medications in it. One of them does have some side effects, and about 10% of people can't tolerate the drug.
Side effects from the medications can include diarrhea, nausea, headaches, welts, and now doctors say they're seeing heart problems and other complications. As for a vaccine, it's still probably at least a decade away.
No magic bullet for treatment or cure.
Still, young people are contracting the virus at alarming rates. Kyle is 18 years old and recently has been flirting with a dark unknown. He's been engaging in a new, very risky fad called PNP.
PNP, it's party and play. Basically, parties do crystal meth or coke or any other drug, but usually crystal meth, and smoke it, snort it. It's happening a lot. If you go on the internet, in the chat rooms, a lot of people on their profiles advertise that they're into PNP. A lot of people also don't release that they're HIV positive, which is kind of a problem. Because then, well, as I was taught, you should always treat like everyone's HIV positive and always use a condom. But I guess sometimes I let my trust get away.
Young, gay, and sexually active, Kyle says when he does PNP, he smokes meth.
Usually, it'd just be leading to uninhibited sex, condomless, which I realized was really unsafe, put myself at risk. As fun as it was, I don't know, I kind of regret doing it.
It's not isolated to just the young homosexuals or just the people that go to the bars after hours. It really is people from all different walks of life. You know, people generally do drugs to have a good time, and sex is often one of those good times that they like to include while they are high.
Devin Clardy is the outreach coordinator for the Sacramento-based nonprofit agency Breaking Barriers.
I think that people that love themselves and are basically happy people are going to be more apt to protect themselves because they value their life.
We need to make sure that we don't grow complacent just because we've been able to accomplish so much.
Breaking Barriers has 120 active volunteers, and its mission is to help people living with HIV/AIDS.
We take them to and from medical and social work appointments. We help people go grocery shopping. We clean their house if they're too ill to do so. We have our educational workshops. We have educational outreach. We do referrals to alcohol and drug treatment programs. We work very closely with several other agencies, including CARES, the Center for AIDS Research and Education Services.
Though controversial, some researchers say needle exchange programs, like this one in San Francisco's Tenderloin, slow the spread of HIV/AIDS among injection drug users. In California, syringe exchange is illegal. Counties that declare a state of medical emergency are allowed to operate openly, but most exchanges in the Sacramento region are underground. Saving drug users and the disenfranchised, for years Larry Barker has been heading into high-risk neighborhoods, including one that used to be referred to as HIV Ground Zero. Now,
in every neighborhood, they probably got Ground Zero.
by connecting with people, Larry finds undiagnosed infected individuals and gets them into treatment. According to the CDC, 1 million people in the U.S. are living with HIV/AIDS. About 25% of them don't know they have the virus.
Yeah. You know, you've been making all your appointments? All my appointments. Well, you came a long way since I met you in September.
Larry is an outreach worker for the CARES Medical Clinic, which serves people in several counties throughout the Sacramento region.
Hey, W, what's up?
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If we can just prevent a few infections, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in medications. That's costing healthcare providers, that's costing you and me as taxpayers. So there's a whole dollars and cents piece of it as well.
Ted Ross is a businessman, community leader, and chair of Capital City AIDS Fund, or CCAF.
The Capital City AIDS Fund was created over a decade ago now in the Sacramento area to really serve as a community fund. We stage events that raise money, and then we in turn provide the funds to agencies providing HIV services in the Sacramento area.
CCAF has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for services, but it became evident more was needed.
There are an awful lot of AIDS service providers out there who are not able to provide frank messages to young people, frank educational messages. And a lot of that has to do with federal funding being cut off if that happens. And so CCAF takes no federal funds. We're not bound by those rules. So we're able to put frank messages out there about safe and sane practices and say, you know, you got to think about this every time you're going to have sex.
Over the past year, CCAF's educational campaign has distributed 30,000 free condoms in popular bars, nightclubs, and special events attended by young adults.
So if we prevented just a few infections, it's way worth it. This is all about saving lives.
Saving lives and improving quality of lives. Capital City AIDS Fund is also committed to helping people infected with HIV/AIDS in their youth get back on their feet and go to college. Lisa Cleveland is one of nearly a dozen recipients of CCAF's Helen Veris Mitchell Scholarship Fund. She was only 19 years old when she became infected with HIV.
19 years old. It stopped my life. Everything just stopped, and I didn't know where to go from there.
Lisa contracted the virus from her boyfriend.
I got sick with pneumonia, and I was hospitalized for at least a month. That's when I realized that I was really sick. Just trying to grasp a hold of it, I could never grasp on and hold on to the feeling or the reality that I was HIV positive. And I did such a good job of not holding on to it that it wasn't until 1999 that it actually hit me, when it stopped me dead in my tracks and put me in the hospital.
A devoted and loving mother of two beautiful children, both free of HIV, Lisa finally got the help she needed and began a regimen of medication she adheres to faithfully.
All those little things that I took for granted before, or I appreciate now, when my flowers start blooming and I see them coming up, all those things are just so important and special to me. I can't even explain to you how good my life is. It's I really have embraced it now since I've got myself on the right track with my medication, with school, with my children.
Lisa takes good care of her children and hopes to set an example for them. She studies hard, is on the honor roll, and will be graduating from Sacramento State University next year with a degree in social work.
I want to get back because I've been given a lot.
This year, Lisa received her scholarship check for $1,500 from CCAF.
Kids are like, wow, Mom. I said, well, I got it because of certain reasons, but you know, the main reason is people care. They really do care. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm going where I want to go, and it just makes me really happy, so happy that I cry. That's what it is, it's just crying for happiness.
To order a DVD copy of this program, call 888-814-3923 or visit kvie.org/viewfinder.
Presentation of this ViewFinder episode is locally supported by UC Davis Health System.
Funding for the ViewFinder series is provided by Allied Insurance. Life comes at you fast. Allied provides insurance for auto, home, business, and farm. Allied Insurance, a nationwide company, on your side. ViewFinder is also supported by the expanded Jackson Rancheria Casino and Hotel. An hour's drive from Sacramento, Jackson Rancheria offers gaming, entertainment, fine dining, rooms and suites, and a conference center. Jackson Rancheria Casino and Hotel, where friendship is the largest jackpot. And by the Delta Society, building the future of local programming on KVIE.